Hi everyone. So, long time no see. Many of you have asked me why I actually started out on the spiritual path. So, long story short, I have always been spiritual, I think. At a very early age, I have foreseen things like accidents, um, or when someone was dangerous on the street and we needed to leave the premises very quickly. And sure enough, 2 minutes later, several police cars showed up and the man was taken out. Or when my husband's father had a heart attack, I woke up, in a very, someone would say, hysterical state. And I was just telling my husband something bad happened to their parents. We really have to call them instantly. And it was true. He was clinically dead by that point. That being said, he recovered just fine. Or other things like before me and my father had a car accident, I actually am not really a painter, or I don't draw pictures. I'm not that artistic. But that night I stayed up all night and I drew a quite big picture with a single pencil, really. A mother, almost like a Mother Mary, holding a dead child. And when someone asked me early in the morning before we got into the car who that was, I said, it was me. And so I also really, that day, had a very, very bad car accident and spent 2 months in the hospital and almost 3 weeks in intense care. And yes, I nearly died. So I had an experience that was really close to death. That being said, really when it all started is when things got difficult at home. My husband wasn't feeling well for a very long time emotionally, and this is where I felt quite lonely. And I just thought to myself that I always knew there's something more, but I really started meditating. And as I was meditating, I don't know how it is for others, but I started receiving very interesting visions without actually wanting to go into altered state of consciousness. I started foreseeing things, but also I most likely started becoming very aware of myself and knowing to the T who I am, and started healing myself so I don't have the same emotional state, that I don't get sort of like depressed myself, together with my husband in the same household. So, and this is when I actually received one of the first very major messages in 2019. I was by then 41 years old. I'm 43 years old now. One of my first messages. And I saw Ellen Chapman, someone who then I later also accidentally met at the school that I usually visit in England. I saw him a YouTube video. He posted a YouTube video about his journey on spiritual journey, or how he's exploring spirituality or the spiritual things. And I just heard from him for the first time that he usually goes to the Arthur Findlay College in London, Stansted, UK. And in this very moment, I just knew that there was something. And I actually purchased a plane ticket to go there and looked up a class. My husband really wasn't agreeing with any of that, and I really didn't have any explanation. So that being said, by the second time I visited the school, I already, because it was a first trance class I visited when I went there, that's what I wanted to do. And also, I don't know why, I just wanted to do trance healing. I knew I am a natural healer, and the word trance just I was very drawn to that word, and I do not know why. And so The second time I went to the school, I actually met Ellen, and by that time I was pretty advanced in trance, half a year later I would say, which was a very, very fast path. Most people develop their trance skills to the point where they are comfortable with demonstrations in front of many people, or trance healing, or teaching, you know, over several years. For me, it all happened just instantly. So I arrived at the school and I remembered everything. Like the spirit guides that came in and started teaching me, like I knew them forever. And for the first time, I felt like I was at home. Nevertheless, by that time, I had lots of spirit guides coming in from the 1890s, around that area when spirituality really took off in England and came over from the US. And I saw myself working in trance with scientists, but also with other mediums. And I was a medium. And I saw, I'm not kidding, one of the, like Ellen, exactly Ellen, in one of my trance experiences, many of my trance experiences. And actually I was able to Google him, and from that era, and he looked exactly the same when I met him for the first time in person by accident. And it was just for me like another confirmation that the things I see, they have always turned out to be true, but that parallel lives really do exist. When I found the person who led me via a YouTube video to visit this school, I Googled him, you know, in a parallel life, in a former life, according to the data, to the information I received, and I actually found him, the same face, everything, in a different era. And so, Alan, if you watch this, you can tell me that it's a little spooky, but I really did feel that we had a connection there. And first and most, I found it very interesting that back then he also was researching the spiritual phenomena, the physical phenomena, and in this lifetime you are doing the same thing. So that being said, that was the first step. And I am sure if I wasn't going to be triggered by this YouTube video from Ellen, I would have been triggered by other things, or I would have received other messages to start on my path. And yes, this is how it all started. And here's a picture of Alan Chapman now, and Frank Padmore, who was an influential member of the Society of Psychical Research and was very famous of his critical writings about spiritualism. So yeah, the two just look extremely similar. But definitely check out his videos under the name Shaman Oaks on Instagram and YouTube, talking about near-death experiences, but also other spiritual topics. And you can watch him give healing. So yeah, I hope you like this video. If so, definitely hit like and please subscribe.